The Lunaverse, episode 26, by Rainbow Double Dash, at the Grand Galloping Gala. Chapter 8. Zane again. Prince Blueblood knew that he was not considered to be one of the brightest members of Night Court. He knew, too, that in his most private and weakest moments, he could sometimes be a bit of a flop, and an idiot. The key details could slip under his muzzle. Indeed, when he had all the right information in front of him, he could still make mistakes. His special talent was direction, namely, making the correct choices about where to go, not simply on street corners. Unfortunately, in the muddled world of Night Court, even a Ponyville with special talent of making the correct choices could be stymied, as he had indeed been following his elevation from Barrett to Viscount. Specifically, just because one knew the correct choices to make in the short term didn't mean that one knew the long-term consequences. Further, he had to admit to himself that he could be persuaded to make choices he didn't think were in his own best interest. And the immediate payoff was good enough. In short, he had been ignoring his special talent for the past few months, and that cost him dearly. As a result, he was biting down a bit and paying attention to it more. Even if he hadn't resolved to do such, however, looking at Trixie Little Moon, his gut instincts, his experience as a courtier, and his just plain common sense were all screaming the same thing at him.
This is a trap, you fool. Send it away before you're caught in it.
But then again,
I see.
Blueblood said, glanced around. While the rank of Vice County was the second lowest in Night Court, well, technically third lowest, but no pony counted baronets, not even the baronets themselves. He managed to secure a rather expensive office and apartments within Canterlot Castle, nearly as awkward to those dukes. At present, he was standing in the waiting room before his office proper, and alongside Trixie there was also some of his staff who were politely staring at their work, and neither Trixie nor Blueblood, and certainly weren't paying close attention. Blueblood waved his hostess staff.
Leave. Come back in an hour.
He ordered, severely disappointed on not being able to eavesdrop on the conversation, but all Blueblood's staff nevertheless stood and tried out the front door. Once he had left the room, Blueblood turned and trotted back into his office, Trixie following him. Once inside, he looked again at Trixie.
What makes you think that I want to go with the gala with you?
He asked. The fact that you've asked me 6 years in a row, she answered.
And suppose I already have some pony I'm going with.
Blueblood stood up straight, running a huff on his shirt as he offered a grin.
In fact, I have all but picked free for the herd. There are dozens, hundreds of ponies who would do anything to spend a night with me, you know. And this is quite last minute of you. What if I already have a companion?
Trixie stared slightly, some thought passed through her mind. Blueblood frowned at that. It was quite a fine example of stallion physique, and it had 3 covers of AT today proclaiming their sense to prove it. Mares throughout Equestria got weak knees and hogs at the sight of this illustrious person. No small number of stallions as well. At length, Trixie gathered herself and met Blueblood in the eye again. Do you have one? She asked. Blueblood offered a smirk.
No. Oh, I know several ponies try to fight for my affections at the gala.
This is in fact true, despite Trixie rolling her eyes.
But no said plans, as luck would have it. But what makes you think I would even want to go with the gala with you now?
You've been trying for years, Trixie pointed out. Though, let's be honest, you were just trying to get closer to Luna, through me. Blueblood's eyes narrowed at that, as he decided he pranced around the issue long enough.
You're not here because you had a change of heart, Miss Little Moon,
he said as he scratched an errant itch on his cueing mark.
You want something for the Night Court, and then you have no land, no money, favors or connections, no power. You're using the one small, sad thing you could possibly offer me as a bargaining chip.
Trixie didn't seem surprised that Blueblood had figured it out, nor did she react to his belittling her. What do you know, she asked instead, about a unicorn named Zane? Blueblood paused for a moment, thinking about the name.
Nothing.
He lied. Really, he felt more than a little panic. He had hired Zane on many occasions. Well, was in some ways her best customer, or her most constant, ever since he had ascended to Vice Canty. However, their working relationship had gotten off to a rocky start. Thanks in no small part to Trixie, whose Zane had been attempting to gather blackmail material on for Blue Blood. It hadn't worked, but Trixie never learned that Blue Blood was the one who hires Zane. Or had she? Trixie studied his features for several long minutes.
Okay, she said, I'm going to make this as plain as possible. I'm sick and tired of the night court. Sick and tired of my friends in town being hurt. And at the center of it all, there has been you and Greengrass and who knows how many other ponies. All because we're at the limits of harmony.
Trixie put her hat back on her head.
I want Greengrass out of my mane. Out of every pony's mane. And I think Dexter Zane can help, she said. And I think you know her, or know somebody who knows her. That's because that's how the night court works, right? So, that's what the deal is. Get me in contact with Zane today, and I'll go to the gala with you, and... well, I'll owe you one.
Blue Blood's make a quicker return.
I see, he said. I assume that this favor you owed me comes with the usual provisos. Nothing you find offensive and so on.
Yeah.
Blue Blood thought. Trixie was up to something. Never a good sign. Last time she had been something, several gallons of ice-cold water had been created. If temporarily, a waterfall over the ends of a cliff that Canterlot sat upon. On the other hand, there was no denying that Trixie was different from the vainglorious, egotistical student of Luna that she had been 6 months ago. She still had those qualities, but they were tempered now. She was eager to begin flexing her muscles in the night court, dip her hose in, and start her climb through its halls. Blue Blood considered that perhaps he should change his priorities. Rather than trying to gain political control over Trixie Lunamoon, element of magic, he should instead perhaps playing the role of Patreon to Trixie Lunamoon, an innocent member of the Night Court. Less fame, but another ally in the court, even one junior to himself, could never hurt. As to her specific plan, whatever it was, it involved ousting Greengrass. Getting rid of that slime was very high on Blue Blood's list of things to do. Or she might fail, but it would still leave her in Blue Blood's debt. He could only see marginal risk, every possibility of some sort of reward, if he went in this direction. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for, to unseat Greengrass and make the path from Vice Count to Full Count that much easier. He was going to seize it. Blue Blood stepped forward.
Very well, he said. I'll get you in contact with Zane, but I expect you to meet me here, to go for the gala for aid, and you shall owe me further. Agreed?
Trixie nodded, holding out one hoof. Blue Blood touched his own to her, sealing the deal. 3 o'clock. Cliffside Hangar. Come along. Z. Raindrops looked down at her again.
You're kind of not alone, Trixie.
She pointed out as she, Trixie, and Canterlot trotted through Canterlot towards the Cliffside Hangar. What Cliffside meant was easy enough to figure out, since Canterlot was built alongside a cliff face, but neither she, nor Trixie, nor Carrot Top had ever heard of a hangar before. Trixie looked at Raindrops.
Zane's crazy if she thinks that I'll actually come alone. And I wouldn't let you,
Carrot Top said firmly. Dizzy, Charlie, and I were all getting their main style, coats brushed, and just generally readying themselves for the gala. Trixie needed to meet with Zane, however. While Raindrops looked better, what was somewhat messy anyway, even for a formal event. And Carrot Top was quite adept at styling her maid. The money she spent on keeping it in good condition was her one true vice. Less comes to less, Carrot Top continued. She doesn't sew up and the plans counts it. She looked at Trixie. What?
Playing doesn't work without her,
Trixie confirmed as the 3 ponies reached the edge of the cliff that Canterlot sat upon. It was guarded by a tall, sturdy wall to prevent ponies who couldn't fly from accidentally tumbling over the side. But the wall opened up several points to stairs that led down the cliff face, to a select few structures built into the side of the cliff itself. Trixie had been to several, most notably a restaurant set right behind the Canterlot waterfall. However, they were fairly far from that location. Instead, the directions they had acquired to the cliffside hangar were taking them down the northern side of the wall. Carrot Top hugging the cliff wall tightly and looking very grateful for the rail set into the stairs. Now hundreds of feet before finally setting on a trio of set of doors labeled cliffside hangar and for a guard shack. The guard shack, however, was empty, and the doors were slightly ajar. Creepy, Raindrops noted as the three made their way forward through the doors. There was a 20-foot corridor leading to another set of doors. On the other side, Raindrops, Trixie, and Carrot Top, and Carrot the offspring of a balloon and a whale. Raindrops blinked. The three found themselves standing atop a long catwalk inside a cavernous chamber. One end of the chamber had the cavern wide open, revealing the wide open plains of Equestria beyond, while most of the interior was hewn between rock, with the crystals along its length. Crystals that had been tainted to glow brightly, illuminating the thing that sent or hovered in front of them. It was more than 100 feet from end to end. A long tube of fabric, what looked like some kind of skeleton, tapered off to a point near the end. The rear, Raindrops assumed it was the rear anyway, as it was located at the rear of the chamber. It looked like a ship's rudder, since there were four of them, one at the bottom and one at the top, one left and one right. The entire ship was silver, though it looked like towards the front some point had begun to paint it in blues and purples, but hadn't finished yet. Attached to the underside of the tube, meanwhile, was some kind of grand cabin or gondola, constructed of metal and glass, but she couldn't see inside. At the rear of the gondola, in a ring around the middle of the tube, were propellers. The catwalk, there were the three standing on the ledge of the gondola's main door. But that was not what struck Raindrops' eye. What got to her was the thing hovering, held in place only by tethers attached to the chamber floor, and swaying to and fro slightly. Yet Raindrops could see no wings, no flame for hot air, no telltale glow from telekinetic magic. So what unicorn could possibly have the magic to lift this thing? This floated, defying all reason and sanity while doing so. It's called, a voice said from somewhere in the chamber, an airship. Raindrops' wings raised in challenge to the voice. She, Carrot Top, and Trixie looked around. Trixie's eyes narrowed.
Zing!
She informed the other two, but not yet met the professional blackmailer. It's really quite amazing, Suzanne continued from wherever she was hiding. The balloon is made out of cotton. Inside, there's a light metal skeleton, I forget what kind of metal, and rubberized cotton gas filled with helium. It could lift more than 50 hot air balloons could, travel faster and farther. It'll cut the cost of importing stuff up to Pegasus Cloud Cities by a factor of 10 at least. Let Earth ponies and unicorns fly across the country without the need of expensive spells. The door to the gondola opened, and standing inside, wearing a dark cloak with his hood down, was a white unicorn with a purple mane. Suzanne, Raindrops presumed. The unicorn trotted out from the gondola, hopping halfway towards the three of them to look up at the airship. I'll go be honest, I think I've fallen in love. I was hired to sabotage this thing by certain interests who didn't want to cause the surface-to-air imports to plummet. And I have. But I think after it fails the launch, I'll swoop in and rescue the company from bankruptcy. Gotta put in all those bits I'm paid to use, right? I want to see this thing fly. Suzanne turned around, looking at Raindrops, didn't Carrot Top. Then, lastly, Trixie. So, you were supposed to come alone, she pointed out. Trixie blinked a few times, tearing her eyes from the airship and focusing on Suzanne.
I didn't,
she said instead.
Is that a problem?
Suzanne stared at Trixie for a few moments, then shrugged. Not really. You can't afford to meet my price no matter what you got planned. I'm only meeting you with you at all, 'cause Blue Blood shelled out some bits to meet me. She smirked. That's very nice, though. I think you'll make a cute couple. I think you can name one of the foals Suzanne. Trixie sputtered that, stepping back several paces at Suzanne's implication. The white unicorn's smirk grew, though at the sight of Raindrops snorting, she stepped forward. Don't! You could at least hear us out, Carrot Top interjected, before Suzanne could bait Raindrops. An action she would most likely regret. Suzanne sat back on her haunches, horn glowing slightly. On walk at once, she lifted out of her key as she considered his face. All right, you've got 1 minute to wow me, she said. Trixie recovered from the bleak thoughts Suzanne had implanted in her mind of her carrying Blue Blood's foals. She went to White Unicorn in the eye.
I want to use a truth poison on the Night Court, so I can blackmail them into leaving me and my friends alone.
Suzanne blinked a few times. She put away her pocket watch. That has wowed me. With stupidity, mind, but wowed me nonetheless. She waved her two front hosts. Continue. Trixie reached to the folds of her own cloak, producing a vial of greenish liquid. She floated over to Zazane, who took it into her own tugging at Gareth.
And that's called truth is a scourge, she said. It's a zebra truth poison. Give some pony a few drops, and they can only speak the truth. And have to speak. Even worse, they say exactly what they think the moment they think it.
Trixie tapped her host together.
I've modified it a little, so it doesn't go into effect immediately. It can't be activated as long as it didn't drink your system, and it can turn off too. I'll show you how to do that.
Neat, Zazane observed, considering the vial. And it works.
Drink it and find out,
Raindrops challenged. Zazane smiled. I don't think so, but I think I'll hold on to it and test it later. She went to Trixie. How do you turn it on and off? She asked, horn going slightly as he got ready to observe. Trixie demonstrated how to do so. It was just sending a tiny bit of magic into a potion, not even a true spell. Zazane was able to duplicate it in just a few minutes. So, assuming it really does work, Zazane continued, how would this go down? So Trixie tapped her host together. This, Raindrop knew, was the hardest part of the plan, requiring a careful balance of truth and lies told to a pony who dealt in lies as a basic part of her profession.
I said the Night Court, Trixie said, but I'm really talking about just a few points at first. The green grass, hearts to fixer, Viceroy Nightlight, and Blue Blood.
Zazane's eyes swined a little. Oh my, betrayal already. You're taking the Night Court like a fist of water. Trixie ignored Zazane.
I want to get more, though. I want to get every pony on the Night Court who's done wrong, who's likely to just step in and take the place of Greengrass once he's been embarrassed. So that's the first part of where you come in. I'll need a list of ponies like that. I'm sure you can think them up.
In the second part, Zazane asked. Trixie looked at Raindrops and Carrot Top, both of whom grimaced.
I don't just want to spike a punch bowl, she said. I don't know if you heard, but the venue's changed at the gala at the last minute, and there's a bunch of Ponyvillians coming along. There's going to be a lot of innocent ponies there. So me and my friends are going to be going around, getting drops of truth as a scourge to the drinks of every pony we want as a target. Then I'll activate it. From there, until I end the spell, I want you to go around as many places as you can in disguise, and just start collecting blackmail information.
Zazane thought, her smirk dropping as she considered. First point, she said, why all this? In my line of work, it pays to have some information on each client I take, just in case. An insurance policy, basically. So, why not just try to get that from me? Trixie shook her head.
Because all that information you have is useless if somebody else has it and has plans on using it. Blackmail only works if the victim isn't exposed. This way, the ponies I'll be blackmailing will know it was because of something they let slip at the gala, and won't suspect you. They'll know it was I'm the one who embarrassed them at the gala. I can ruin them forever, and they'll also have an example of what I can do to them if they don't leave us alone.
Ah, Zazane said, nodding. You're sending a message. Fair enough. But at least my second point. How are you paying me? Trixie shifted as Carrot Tops and Raindrops. This the irreformable point of the plan.
It costs silver,
Carrot Top answered for Trixie.
How does 100,000 bits sound?
Zazane stared, her face incredulous. It sounds like a vicious lie, she answered. I don't recall any of you elements being made mention as millionaires. So, you'll forgive me if I don't think you can manage that. Raindrop sighed. She hated this part of the plan, but she had to try to sell the line. What she couldn't do is she let Trixie do all the talking. It's real, she said. The REMM is sending cash to Ponyville to pay our relief. It'd be easy for us to get access to it. Zazane glanced. You're stealing your own relief money? She asked. Apparently even she thought that was low. Trixie shook her head.
Borrowing it. Once we get the blackmail information, we could extort it back easily.
But at the moment, barring a robbery, you don't actually have access to it. Trixie nodded.
If you help us, Trixie said, I wouldn't expect you to give us any of the blackmail information until we actually paid you. That's fair. And you have your own blackmail information on us as insurance. The fact that we set everything up to begin with.
said Zane concerned, both her hose pressed together in front of her, weighing her options. For several long minutes there was no sound at all. The fast steamer in the airship, apart from Trixie shifting occasionally from hoof to hoof. Carrot Top humming silently to keep calm. The raindrops shifting her wings. Eventually, Zane looked back to them, held up her vial of truth as a scourge. If this works when I test it, she said, and you show me how to make it afterwards. Then all right, Lula Moon. You have a deal. Chapter 9. At the Gala. This being the middle of summer, or close enough in any event, the sun was still hanging high in the sky as Princess Luna entered Canterlot's castle great and wide courtyard. It's dipping notably towards the horizon, of course, but it was still there, bathing the land in orange and red. As Luna separated herself from her night guards, leaving them at the courtyard's edge, the courtyard was empty of ponies, and several statues and benches had been moved off to the side and out of the way to make room. Luna fluttered her wings a few times, stretching them. As she focused her eyes, she trotted towards the courtyard center. The most technical of senses, she was about to cast a spell, using her horn as a focus, as a unicorn might. And this was so very far beyond what any unicorn could achieve, at least in the short time frame she was working with. As she came to a stop at the center of the courtyard, her whole entire body glowed with deep blue magic, coursing along her hooves and wings, and up through her horn. The Grand Galloping Gala was one of the most prestigious events in all of Equestria, and an ancient one, dating back to a time of gathering the three pony tribes together, encouraging mixing and coexistence. It was normally held in the Grand Hall, but with the addition of some 100 to 200 guests, depending on how many of the invited Ponyvillians came and took advantage of their +1s. The Grand Hall, already unusually full, would not simply suffice in this instance. The courtyard was the only location in Canterlot Castle large enough for such a gathering. Now Luna had to make it look the part. Luna finished gathering her magical might, exhaled to cast her spell. A few minutes later, the courtyard was ready. She trotted away from her work, joining her night guard, who themselves at dust fans acknowledging the arrival of their counter the guard, shining armor. Good evening, Captain, Luna said after she had finished bowing to her. Your final report? Shining armor looked past the princess to the result of her spell. Security will be difficult, but I'm confident that my ponies can exceed expectations, he said. Let's just hope that this one lasts a bit longer, Luna said, a trace of guilty mirth in her voice. Shining armor shifted slightly. I hope so, Majesty. Though, on that note, I actually just saw your student, Miss Lunamoon. Luna's eyes widened slightly. Oh, she asked. Yeah, she has some interesting things to say.
Why aren't you ready yet?
Blue Blood demanded, as he knocked on the door of the salon. He had waited at his office for half an hour before one of Trixie's acquaintances, the Pegasus, something do or do something. Blue Blood couldn't remember much other than being unnerved by her walled eyes, and flown over to inform him that she was running late and preparing, and he had to meet her at the salon.
Because oh, Carrot Top, be careful! Not exactly used to wearing dresses.
Trixie called from the other side of the door.
And this thing, ow, ow! Oh, pipe down!
In her mayor's voice, presumably Carrot Top's set for the room.
It's supposed to be tight. Can't breathe.
A third voice said from the other side. Carrot Top, she's turning blue.
She is blue.
Yeah, but more blue. Now a little purple. Good point. Hang on. Blue Blood put a hoof to his face, sighing as he turned around. There were three other mares, to do something or other, another taken since by the name of Raindrops, and another pony named Charlie. Blue Blood had to admit that, even considering they were commoners, the three looked absolutely stunning. Their manes styled by the salon staff, their dresses each perfectly complementing their coats, eyes, builds, even so, one of the little texts that says their cutie marks. Oh, by the way, is it wrong that I've gotten to reading this cast so well that I've gotten to know them so easily that during that scene I just knew that it was Lyra speaking and not Charlie, Raindrops, or Ditzy? Oh yeah, I've gotten to that point of caring for this team that much. In addition to the mares, there was a small, gray unicorn filly, probably the Gray Pegasus's little sister, Blue Blood imagined. As she was a foal, her outfit was a very simple dress and skirt. Even the most wealthy of nobles usually didn't spend much money on clothes for foals, since they grew out of them quickly, and clothing was usually reserved for special occasions only. Most importantly, to Blood anyway, the Vice Scout noted that the three of them were having a hard time keeping their eyes off of him. His strict mourning regimen and diet for the past month leading to the gala clearly were down in his favor. Not to mention a small army of maid stylists, horn flyers, and other experts he employed to keep them looking best at all times, even at important nights like tonight. Blueblood flashed Jasmine Pegasus a smile. He noted the slight twist on her wings at it, though she looked otherwise, like she was trying very, very hard not to let him know she had been staring. Blueblood smirked to himself as he turned back to the door. He had no serious chance with Trixie, he knew. Perhaps her friends were not so standoffish, however. He had all night to find out.
Hate corsets!
A hiss came out from behind the door.
Hate them so much!
Blueblood groaned as he checked his pocket watch. It read 7:35. The salon happened to be close to the castle, though they still could make it to the opening ceremony if they left right now.
How much longer?
Blueblood demanded again.
Just a minute!
A fourth voice said from behind the door. Honestly, Trixie, you've only been 5 days in this past. I don't see how you couldn't know how to put on a dress.
I didn't wear dresses to them!
Please do not remind me.
Blueblood said, sighing. In response, there was a flash of blue light from behind the door. Standing before Blueblood suddenly was Trixie, bedecked in a purple and gold jacket with frilled neckline and sleeves, a deep blue filled undershirt, and a short purple cape, and a purple top hat. Purple and gold. Purple and gold. Dot 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 dot. Bloop. Londo. Trixie. Londo. Trixie. Wow. I was right. Speaking of Londo, there's this game out there called Boss Battle, and I like to say one of the best things about this game, one of the hero characters is Londo. That makes me smile. In short, she looked like a magician from some stage show in Las Pegasus. Not some pony who had been personally tutored by the princess. Blueblood stared at the illusory Trixie. Of course, for that was what it was, it sighed, covering its eyes with his host.
Trixie, I beg of you, please tell me you're not wearing anything that remotely resembles that this year.
Well, it is purple,
Trixie said, as the illusion disappeared. After a moment, the door led to the back of the salon finally opened. Inside were 4 mares. Lyra Heartstrings, the one that Blueblood already knew, of course, though he kept that fact to himself. She wore a gown that looked like an old Rome stola and toga ensemble, fine gold with a golden wreath atop her head. Standing close to her was a cream earth pony, bedecked in a gown of dark blue and pink, while a third earth pony wore orange tresses, a simple yet fetching dress. Blueblood's concern, however, was for Trixie. Much to his own surprise, she did not disappoint. Her mane was largely tied up, though she kept a few locks forward over her eye in her usual style. Her hair had been decorated with a small amount of glitter, while she wore blue earrings shaped like stars. Her dress was purple, of course, the same purple of her cape, with a wide collar and deep purple undershirt, while her dress's chain was decorated with small stars, much more subtle in appearance than her cape. Whoever had designed her dress had done an excellent job. Trixie smiled at Blueblood, striking a slight pose that Blueblood was supposed what was Trixie thought considered alluring.
Well,
she asked. Blueblood stared at her as her friends left the back of the salon, joining the rest of Trixie's acquaintances.
Quite fetching. Can we get a move on now?
Trixie's eyes widened.
Quite fetching. That's all I get from you.
Blueblood glared slightly at that.
Well, how would you rate me?
Audience?
2, 2, 2, 2.
Oh! Trixie glanced at that. Blueblood sighed.
Exactly. This is a business arrangement, Trixie. Don't think I'll forget that simply because you chose to dress nicely.
Blue Unicorn sighed, shaking her head.
Yes, it's going to be a long night.
The streets outside of Canterlot Castle bustled with ponies of every tribe, even Pegasi, who joined their fellow ponies on the ground before the gates they would soon be walking through. As it would have been uncouth in the extreme to simply fly over the walls and essentially skip the lines of the castle itself when the gala officially began. There were nobles of every stripe, margravines and dukes, counts and baronets, viscounts and vicereines, as well as their husbands, wives, or lovers, dusty casual acquaintances. There were wonderfuls, here to put on a show over the gala, famous musicians and playwrights, actors and authors. There were dozens of others who were lucky enough to acquire their ticket, all dressed in their finest. By arriving in the train, there were others as well. Ponyvillians, 200 of them. Every pony had been lucky enough to win this morning's raffle had been decided to come, and every one of them had been taking advantage of their plus ones. They were dressed in their finest, too. The difference between the Ponyvillians' finest and the elite equestrian society's finest was immense, especially given all that Ponyville had been through over the past week. Their sheer weight of numbers, the Ponyvillians aside, now consisting of about a fifth of the total guests, asserted that no pony said anything. Duke Greengrass moved easily through the crowd of ponies that waited with various degrees of patience outside of Canterlot's guests. He shook hooves and traded some jokes with them, scooping out the field this year's gala. The unexpected arrival of the Ponyvillians had thrown off many of the nobility, making some timid of how to act, what to do. The usual political battlefield was the gala was still open, where the presence of so many peasantry had made this year's gala off limits. Bluebell had decided that until he had good reason to think otherwise, he was going to do what he always did. Throw his lines and see what he could do. What alliances he could make. Who could he embarrass, and so on. There was a particular spring to his step this year, after what happened to Lulamoon yesterday. He worried that she'd be making a fool of herself this year at the gala, as he had every year. But after tearing through Canterlot in tears at whatever Nightlight said to her, he sorely doubted he'd be seeing her any time soon. To the extent it was unfortunate. He had hoped that it wasn't our power play tonight. Greengrass put on a fantastic smile when he ran to a particular pony. Ah! Arch to Fixer, he exclaimed. Several pre-gala fireworks began to going out the sky, seeming to carry their own throne and life to them. Fixer acknowledged Greengrass with a nod. He returned his bow when Greengrass gave it to him.
Oh, Duke Greengrass,
he greeted. Greengrass looked around at gathered guests.
The official with a splendid party, the midpoint of a preposterous year. Quite a night, I'm impressed. We're one does one the best. Here's to us, the two sang together, the toast of all the city.
What a pity that dear Trixie won't be here, Greengrass finished. The song was moving through the crowd, Pegasus wings flapping, unicorn horns glowing, the fireworks and their own horns setting the beat. As one, with 1,000 ponies sang together. At the gala, nearly ready to begin. At the gala, past the gates, there's a night of endless wonder. At the gala, open up and let us in. At the gala, food and drink to sate any pony's hunger. Fast of moths, splash of poos, group of dog conts like a noose, green and black, red and white. What's he wearing, such a sight? Faces! Take your turn, take a ride on a merry-go-round, but don't you lose your place. Eye of gold, point of blue, true is false, who is who? Colored lips, swirl the gown, break their hearts, keep it down. Faces! Oh, drink it up, drink it in, till you drown in the light at the sound. But can you carve your place? The Ponyvillians weren't singing nearly quite as strongly as the rest of the crowd. They kept to themselves mostly. But for most every pony else singing, they understood what their words were. A declaration that the quiet game of cloak and dagger that was at every year's gala was still on. At the gala, spinning yellow, spinning reds. At the gala, take your fill, let the spectacle sound you. At the gala, burning glasses, turning heads. At the gala, stop and stare to see the smiles around you. The nobles singing dropped several octaves as they looked furtively between each other. At the gala, seething shadows, blinking eyes. At the gala, you can fool any friend who ever knew you. The little voices didn't last, of course. At the gala! Learning presents, piercing eyes! At the gala, running high, but a face will still pursue you. What did night? Greengrass heard a familiar, nearby face saying. Mrs. Posey was nearby. Baron Monty Max alongside her. Nearby, the long, elusive old crone that was freistering puissance, apparently having left her telegraph in order to attend the gala. What a crowd, Greengrass agreed with Posey. It makes you glad, makes you proud, all the creme de la creme. Watching us, watching them, all I feel is feeling to see. Fizzer saying, oh, what a night. Oh, to live in denial. Oh, don't be so uncouth. You choose to play the game. Trigger notes, seeing ghosts. But here's the health. Fissons insisted, procuring a flask from within the folds of her dress, the most insidious in any cloud. Here's a toast to a prosperous year, to our friends who are here. Maybe we shouldn't have come. Oh, you're no fun. After all, it's the Grand Gala. Look at it, Trixie said. She was with friends at the edge of the crowd, a slight hill on the road leading up to Canterlot's front gate. The thousands or so ponies were waiting eagerly for the gala to begin were milling before them, as Trixie trotted along with her friends. Blueblood had been a temporary loss, as the six of them could gather one more time. Our secret battleground, Trixie added. Nowhere left to hide. Just look at it. Canterlot grimaced. Maybe this is the best of ideas, she ventured. So much could go wrong. We can still back out, Trixie said, putting her hoof on the vial, hiding her dress, that held the truth as a scourge. And let all this go to waste? Raindrops asked. We're here now. We have to make things right. Come on. What's left to be afraid of? Cheerily asked, doing her best to smile for her friends. Lyra and Ditzy both staying together. All that's happened, let's not argue. All that we've seen, we can only hope. Now's when we have to act, that this is the only way. Blueblood arrived then, looking somewhat annoyed at Trixie for having ditched him. She offered a smile, shrugging as she nuzzled each of her friends closely, for reassurance and strength. She separated from them, and, with Blueblood beginning to make her way into the crowd, music was taking care of itself now, ponies spinning and conversing with each other in low voices. Trixie had never been here before. At the pre-show, was one of the benefits of being Luna's student. She looked at it now as a virtual outsider, though with her vision also colored she also knew of the night court. She saw the glares and sneers, whispers and derisive laughter. The nobles glided to the crowd effortlessly, keeping their eyes on each other. Heads looking this way and that. Their muzzles were held high in the air as regarded their lessers, avoiding the predators while they had sought out their prey. Already some of the nobles wearing smirks of triumph, or their masks were cracking, showing the tragedy that had already been inflicted upon them. This was what Trixie wanted. This was the night court in its purest. A whispered word, a subtle threat, a few misplaced peppers, and the whole pulse of equestrian could change. For the barest moment, Nightling's dominion seemed more like an invitation, but only for a moment. And even if she had accepted, she knew she could never leave the night court without making some attempt to fix it. The thrum, the beat, the fireworks, the soft hose, and the shimmer of magic at least reached its crescendo. Just as though through the crowd, Trixie spied several ponies that she once did and did not want to see. She pushed through all the thoughts and doubts in her mind, studying the character, trying to imagine what she would have done 6 months ago, even as the chorus resumed. At the gala, we're all ready to begin. At the gala, past the gates, let us go through the endless wonder. At the gala, open up and let us in. At the gala lies a danger for any pony's hunger. At the gala, burning glances turning heads. At the gala, stop and stare at the sea of smiles around you. At the gala, grinning yellow, spinning reds. At the gala, to let the spectacle astound you. For everybody else, the song was ended. The night resumed as normal. But Greengrass happened to look up just then, and he saw the last pony he expected to see, standing next to the last pony he expected to see her standing with. And she did not look happy. Trixie advanced one step at a time, leaving Blueblood behind as the crowd seemed to part around her as she bore down her Greengrass. Fisher was still nearby, In fact, he was almost between Greengrass and Trixie, and he seemed so surprised as the Duke himself was. Posy, Monty, and Poussons all stared themselves, wondering what they were about to witness. Trixie's head cocked to the side somewhat. "Why so silent, good monsieurs?" Trixie sang. "Did you think I left you for good? Did you miss me, good monsieurs? I'm not afraid of your scare tactics. I've come to spite you all, and stand here triumphant." Trixie smiled an almost unpleasant smile as he refixed her. "Fondest greetings to you all. A few instructions just before the gala starts. Fisher can't really hold his notes," Trixie said, plucking a hoof against the front of her fellow unicorn's shoulder. "Hearing you now was torture to my ears. Oh, and Fisher, lose some weight. It's not healthy in a stallion of your age." Fisher bristled, but Trixie had already left him, turning over to Posy. "Does his Posy, you look well. I trust no accusations are forthcoming this time." Before Posy could even get as far as Fisher, Trixie had her eyes on Greengrass. "And as for the star, the Greengrass, hello." Even as he kept her eyes locked on him, she began cantering backwards, back to Blue Blood. "Oh, no doubt you've done your best. It's true, I nearly gave in, you know. Should you attempt to come at me again, you do well to see the noble I now stand with." Trixie seemed to realize what she was saying as she looked at Blue Blood. A scowl came over her features. "Now stand with—" Trixie stopped her host, turning and cantering towards the gates of castle angrily as they opened. "Good night to you all. I'm off to get drunk." "Wow, Trixie, I just realized this is probably the first time you've ever had a full-on solo on this show." "What are you talking about, Trixie?" "No, wait. All Trixie's singing on Getting Back Your Hose was done before then. Well, Trixie had that—" "No, it was too small to be considered a full song." "You're right. Trixie knows she had something. She had a song cue at least at one point. She must have had a solo somewhere." "No, everybody else has had at least one solo on this show." "Well, Trixie's impressed. Her first solo, and she loves it." "Thought you would, Trix." Trixie's angry canter slowed. Then she stopped entirely, when she found herself looking at Canterlot Castle, seeing what lay to its gates, on the courtyard. She knew the venue had changed, of course. She had expected a new gala to take place under the moon and stars, perhaps with cheap tables continually decaying, and space cleared for the dance floor. What she had not been expecting was to find herself staring at the wide, tall palace before there had only been an open courtyard. The whole palace glowed with magic as it kept it intact despite the warm night, for the palace was made out of ice. Trixie remembered, hazily, vaguely, incompletely, what had happened the last time she had been inside an ice palace. For some long moments, she looked up at a crescent moon that was hanging in the sky. "No matter how bad things get," she said to the moon, "I promise I'll try very, very hard not to melt this one."